April 14th, 2022 voting meeting of the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors. We'll start with a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a reminder, board members, we have people on Zoom, so speak into the mics. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Donahue, Mr. Elling,
Present.
Mr. Johnson,
Here.
Mr. Knopf,
Here.
Mr. Koch, Ms. Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mrs. Smith.
Here.
6 members present.
We don't, or do you want to do that now? or-
Nope,
your section. Okay. So no presentation this evening. So we're going to move on to hearing of visitors. We have Tricia Wonder with us this evening. Come on up to the table. Make sure you speak into the mic. You have 4 minutes.
Long school bus rides can save money, but at what cost to our students? On April 13th, 2022, our family was informed that the bus stop assigned to our children who attend Central Mountain Middle and High Schools had a necessary change to the pickup and drop-off times. Finding ways to save money and compensate for the school bus driver shortage is a worthwhile and necessary endeavor, but absolutely not at the expense and side effects of your most valuable asset, your students. The reason I'm here tonight is because changing my children to bus route 88 has added 80 minutes a day on the bus, on top of the 70 minutes of their current routes, and is unacceptable for the approximate 10-mile trip. The magnitude of this change will add a total of 2,560 minutes, 42 hours of bus riding for the remainder of the school year. That's a total of 4,800 minutes or 80 hours that our children are scheduled to be on the bus for the rest of the school year. Email and telephone calls were made to the transportation office, the superintendent, and the principals today, but an alternate solution has not yet been provided. At this time, an email apology from the superintendent for the quote-unquote inconvenience should not be the best solution. You are the proud leaders of our large-scale school district and understand the large-scale decision-making that is required. I would expect that you would not want your students to experience the side effects of long bus trips and will support immediate alternative solutions. Long bus rides have been reported to take an immeasurable toll on students who must deal with things as concrete as riding in an uncomfortable seat for 75 minutes, bullying and profanity, to as intangible as decreased benefits from classroom instruction, increased absenteeism, and the inability to participate in outside after-school activities. Some states define how long a student can legally be on a school bus, and most have it capped at 1 hour. While the state of Pennsylvania does not have a legal time limit for school bus rides, that does not give KCSD the right to dismiss this concern. The business manager did provide a neighborhood-specific document from 1979 that deems Cardinal Drive East hazardous for walking routes. Therefore, the suggestion to combine bus stops on this route to decrease the overall trip was denied. Tonight, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share our concerns and request that KCSD immediately reevaluate the assigned bus route in order to provide our children with safe transportation to and from school in a reasonable time. From door to door, this secondary bus change has lengthened our honor roll students' school day to over 10 hours. My immediate ask of you is to recognize that the bus reassignment is not appropriate and provide alternative solutions as soon as Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move on to superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. I did want to update the board on the transportation changes that we talked about last week. So the transportation changes I talked about last week are scheduled to begin on April 19th. This was expedited by the most recent loss of 3 additional bus drivers at Susquehanna Transit. And I wish to thank our transportation department, the secretaries and the principals for their effort in communicating these changes with the families this past week. Alert messages, letters, and personal phone calls were made to over 700 families that would be affected by these changes. We do anticipate that some adjustments will need to be made next week after these changes go into effect. And I do know specifically that I have been looking into your specific situation and the minutes and the drop-off times, and we have been working on solutions. We don't have a different solution to share with you just yet. We need to look at some things on Monday of how that works out. And as I think everyone's aware, just like the first day of school, when there's new transportation routes, there are always adjustments made to that. Some students don't ride. Some people have also called to be unrostered from the bus, and I do anticipate that there could be some help along the way and in addressing those needs. And we will continue to work with families that have any concerns or issues with it. I would say that most of the families, some of them had shorter trips, some of them had longer trips. In talking with Shelley Ott, most of the changes in schedules were additions of anywhere between 5, 10 to 15 minutes were most of the adjustments. Then there were some anomalies to that. So again, we will continue to work with the families as any concerns come up. So at this time, I would like to give a special recognition to Teresa Carlson. Teresa, if you want to come forward. And Susan, if you would also come forward with Teresa. So Teresa Carlson has recently obtained a new professional certification. Through the completion of a rigorous program, she is now a Pennsylvania certified school business administrator who meets the rigid personal, ethical, and professional standards established by this prestigious program. We just want to commend you for the amount of time that you put into this program. It is not an easy program. I'm aware of that. And we're very proud that you were able to obtain this certification. So congratulations. And Susan, thank you.
Yep, I just want to say, I'm not sure who all is aware of how
Have to get
Teresa
closer.
came to be in the business office. But a few years back, we had some major reorganization structure happening at the district. And Teresa's position was transferred from the HR office down to the business office. From what I know of, no complaints to Teresa. So since her move, she has actively sought out professional development, asked questions, always was willing to jump in and find out what is needed of her to help the office be successful in everything we do. So on behalf of the whole office, we're appreciative that you're on our team. Thank you so much. And this certification is just one example of all the hard work she puts in day in and day out. So thank you so much. Congratulations.
Good job.
So if I could, back to the mic.
If I could ask you to turn your attention to the ladybug artwork on the wall. This artwork was provided to us by Special Education Supervisor Lisa Harvey. She was a lucky winner of this artwork at a special ed conference earlier this spring. This piece of artwork is titled Michaela's Voice, and I would like to read to you the story behind this artwork. Michaela's Voice has always celebrated diversity of all kinds, promoting kindness and friendship for everyone. What started with one child was never just about her or her disabilities. Michaela's voice transcends all differences and truly speaks to everyone. Michaela herself never spoke a word, not one. Upon her birth, the delivery room was silent. Michaela didn't cry. 5 days later, her parents learned that she had been born with severe permanent brain injury. Despite Michaela's multiple disabilities, she was fully included in her local elementary school, where her 3rd grade class wrote and illustrated Our Friend Michaela, a book about having a friend with a disability. These young authors told Michaela's story, giving her a voice through which to share some of life's most valuable lessons. Inspired by Michaela's successful inclusion, her friends in their book, Michaela's Voice, was founded so children of all abilities could share the message of inclusion. Kids were always the most accepting of Michaela's disabilities. The logo design was inspired by an idea from Michaela's younger sister, Lauren. Lauren and her mom had been talking about incorporating a ladybug into the logo design for Michaela's Voice for a number of reasons. Even more quiet than Michaela, ladybugs don't make any sounds. They represent good luck and good fortune in all cultures. No one ever harms a ladybug or is afraid of them. Although most ladybugs are red, every once in a while you will find one that is yellow, orange, or pink. With a bit of an explanation, the image of a ladybug is a great metaphor for Michaela and inclusion. Lauren suggested using a regular ladybug with black spots, but suggested including one yellow spot. Michaela died in 2019 at age 24, living twice as long as predicted. Her mom promised Michaela that her voice would continue to be heard, louder, stronger, farther. So I think that just wanted to share why that artwork is here. And it reminds all of us when we see that piece of artwork about our students who we are trying to include and give them a voice as well in our school district. And that's all I have for this evening.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to our committee reports, safety and security.
We actually postponed that. That'll be going on next Tuesday.
Okay.
Again, it's executive session, so
Okay. And policy?
Hi, there's a lot of items in the H category. And I will go through them as quickly as possible, but before I do, I just want to know, I'm just sitting in for Mr. Koch. I am going to do the best I can, but his voice and his delivery is far better than mine, so please bear with me. And hello, Mr. Koch, our thoughts are with you. Oh, okay. Administration team is phenomenal. They go through these for us and they help break them down. And quite honestly, I think I've learned much more in this committee than I have ever thought I would. They've done a phenomenal job. They don't just give us a piece of paper and have us review something. We discuss it and they explain it to us, and then we learn so much. So you have the minutes from the meeting, and there's going to be one that was retired, the cellular telephone. It is being replaced by 712. I hope you've all had a chance to quickly go through these. As you know, anything in bold was altered, changed, edited, and fully discussed for you to look at to make it easier for everyone. There was website development. This is good news. However, it shall work out for us. There is no law prohibiting the district from allowing corporate sponsors on our website. Not that we will or will not do that, but it is an option for the board and administration to consider in the future. We just did for the policy 206, there was no updates, but we always like to go over them and make sure. Same with policy 207, we reviewed, it's a first read. Policy 208, withdrawal from school, that was gone to first read. Policy 209.1, the food allergy management. District takes this very seriously, and we were very happy to review it. It looks very good. It's just a first read. 209.2, diabetes management. It's another extremely important policy and something that we're all very aware of. Just going to first read. Policy 210, medications. Again, no major updates from the PSBA, who is the one that actually goes through these with legal advice, etc. Just reviewed it, first read. Policy 210, possession, use of asthma inhalers, epinephrine, auto injectors, etc., for the safety and health of anyone on our district grounds. And again, it's just a quick review, first read. Policy 211, student accident insurance. This is something that the district, public education, must do. We reviewed it. It looks very good, first read. And then under discussion, we are going to, at a future date, look at policy 006.1, attendance. And we reviewed that. It's a first read, nothing major changed. Just a little bit of text editing. And then policy 111, lesson plans. She is working diligently on this, Dr. Martin and her team. There's no first read or anything. This is a work in progress, and it's actually extremely exciting. So in a future date, I feel very confident that we're going to be getting a presentation. It's moving us further into the 21st century. We are going to be the school of choice. And unless any other committee member has any other things they would like to offer, I believe that would cover most of the items.
You covered it very well. And pretty quickly for policy. Thank you. All right. And any comments from you?
Yeah, just the policies that we went over that Elizabeth mentioned, we did those on Tuesday,
Wednesday morning. Yesterday morning.
And they are not on tonight's agenda. They will be something you'll be seeing in May.
Next month on first read. Okay. So there are a couple additions to the agenda throughout the week. There were some additions to the personnel agenda. And there was a change order from J.C. Orr and a quote for an agreement with Keystone Central for field surveys at Bucktail. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? Any questions on those? Okay. All right. And we also added Mr. Strauss's resignation to be approved from the board to be approved. So, Mr. Allen.
Okay, with that being covered, I'd like to move that we move the entire agenda for the April 14th meeting, except for those items that are specifically requested to be removed. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Johnston, you wanted L1 pulled, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you wanted G4, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Does any other board member have anything else they want removed for separate consideration? Okay, I need a second on the motion to move the
I'll
agenda.
second it.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, might as well since we're here.
Mr. Elling,
Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Knopf,
Yes.
Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
6 yes.
So, Elmore.
Okay. With that being done, let's see. Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we move L1 with a recommendation of the administration that Keystone Central School District Board of Directors approve the following recommendations for the board. And this is a motion to approve the athletic recommendations that have been presented.
That's second.
I'll
Going
second.
to-
Yes, you're abstaining.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I can.
Mr. Johnson,
I have to abstain on this vote.
Mr. Knopf.
Yes.
Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Elling.
Yes.
5 yes and 1 abstention.
Okay, and with that, I'd also like to move G4. And that is the resignation of Randy Strauss, board member.
I'll second it. I'd like to make a couple comments if I could.
Yep, absolutely.
I just want to thank Randy for his, 4 or 5 years he's been on the board. I think he's dedicated a lot of time. As you all know, it takes a lot of time to do this. I'm fairly confident that we might be seeing Randy again in about 4 years. So, so thank you, Randy, if you're listening.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
May I also make a quick comment?
Yes, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I definitely want to acknowledge Mr. Strauss. He really, his heart and soul was with us 110% whenever he was here. And I can only hope that the replacement will have the heart and soul as deep or even close to Randy, and we're going to be in good shape. Thank you, Randy. And I hope to cross paths with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take it, Tracy. Mr. Knopf,
Yes.
Ms. Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
With regret and respect, yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Elling,
And I also agree with what Bo said, with regret and respect. Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes, and I also want to thank Randy for all the service that he put in, and we're sorry to see him leave, but I wish him well in his future endeavors. Thanks, Randy.
Yes votes. All right. Thank you. All right.
All right, with that, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.